Hello YouTubers, this is an unofficial Three Crazy Jacks vid. In fact, this is not going to be associated with Three Crazy Jacks because this is more of a social rant than it is going to be anything geeky or anything resembling the nerd universe. This is more of an observation and a rant towards the channel African Desparia and the Advice Show. The same guy that does the Advice Show also does African Desparia. Now, what he does is that, granted, what he is trying to achieve with his videos about black awareness and basically trying to educate the black man and the black woman and the black kids about some of the disparities that is happening to the black race in form of ultimate racism, white supremacy, and basically social justice warriors that are trying to use the white privilege against the black man and the black woman and the black child. Now, I'm all for that. I'm all for education. I'm all for trying to educate the people of your fellow race to watch out for certain aspects of society, to either steer clear away from them or to educate about what their rights are. I totally get it. However, there is one major flaw in most of his logic, and that is, you do not try to incite a whole race to 100% remove themselves from the community, remove themselves from the schools, remove themselves from businesses, and try to make their own, try to make their own towns, try to make their own schools, try to make their own businesses. As much as I totally see that for its merits, what is actually inciting is a complete removal. Now, the thing that is wrong with that bit of logic is that if you remove yourself from a whole entire situation like that, wholesale, guess what? That means that the bullies, the white supremacists, the KKKs, the other hate groups, and just people who are just flat out fucking stupid and retarded to even see that we are all human, they win. They think that because you remove yourselves that they can still do what they are going to be doing. And if and this is just towards this person, the person that runs African Desparia and the Advice Show and the many other channels that he reports for. Dude, if you're going to incite that kind of removal, that kind of kind of like reverse segregation or segregation as a whole, trying to reinstate segregation, which is totally wrong, and you are the reporter, the so-called man in charge, or the fearless leader of all these YouTube channels, and you have put yourself into a public venue, then you have the responsibility as the leader of your so-called movement to represent the other people who might be like-minded. And therefore, since you are a leader and now a public figure, the best course for you to take without inciting violence, without inciting riots, without inciting anything, is to go and put your money where your mouth is. Go to Capitol Hill. Go to every single place of government. Go to every single Capitol Hill of every single state and put your money where your mouth is and change the fucking laws. Because you keep on complaining that, oh, the white people, they're abusing 911. There ought to be a law. Well, if you keep on saying there ought to be a law, then make that fucking law yourself. Go over to those areas and be a bigger public figure than just a person that is just bitching on the internet. My great-grandmother did exactly that. She put her money where her mouth was, okay? My great-grandmother, Florence Lucille Clark, put her money where her mouth was, to the point where she was Alice Paul's right-hand woman at the women's suffragettes movement. She literally almost gave her life, her blood, her sweat, her tears, her energy, her freedom to get all women the right to vote. Not just the white women, all women. She was right there at the front line of that war. And she, with her best friend, won that war in 1921 in March. Now, dude, if you want to fucking change the world, or change America, or change the way that the black person is being viewed in America, go do it with what my great-grandmother did and change the laws yourself. Get people to back you up. Go over to Capitol Hill and fucking do it. Don't bitch. Don't moan. Don't try to incite any violence. Don't try to incite any riots. Go. Because if you don't, guess what? You're just viewed as a pussy. And I know you're going to be bitching about the fact that, this white woman thinks that she is hot shit. This white woman thinks that her great-grandmother was hot shit too. Well, guess what? I know exactly how the black person has been viewed and the black person has been treated in this country, and how the black person has been a slave here for 450 years. Well, guess what? I'm here to educate you on that one too. I am Jewish. And the Jewish people have been ridiculed, tormented, and enslaved for a commingled time throughout all world history for 4,500 years. So, my people could trump your people if you want to pull that shit. And the Holocaust? That makes the civil rights movement look like a fun little walk in the park. You think that 15,000 black people that got killed in the civil rights movement is like big shit? Well, guess what? My people survived the Holocaust, and in 5 short years, almost 4 million Jewish people were systematically eliminated in Europe. Do some research on that one. My great-grandmother hated Germans because they were also the ones that killed her mother and her sister in Auschwitz. So, yes, I do have a stake and claim in the mistreatment of a certain race, just because you're a certain race. And we're still being ridiculed. We're still being called kikes. We're still being called the Jewy cursey big nose people. We're still having the stereotypes of, oh yes, the Jewish people, they're good with money. They know how to save. They even coined a phrase for people who shop with coupons, shopping like a Jew. You want to talk about stereotypes? We could talk about stereotypes. We could trade notes. But my main thing against you, mister, who does the advice show, don't be just bitching on the internet about trying to educate the black man or the black woman or the black child on how to view the white persuasion. I know that you're saying not all of us are evil. But look at your own race too. Not all of you are good. There are a lot of the jokers, a lot of the retards that deserve to be called the N-word. People who are in gangs, people who deal drugs, people who are pedophiles in your race, people who are comfortable with not bringing themselves up out of their dire situations. People who refuse to go to certain schools, even though they have the test scores for it. People that refuse to try to get better, that like where they're at, that are complacent of where they're at because of the way that society treats them and all that, so they just think, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything with my life. I know that there are a lot of people like that of all races. Black people are not the only ones. There's also people like that in the Hispanics, in the Latinos, in the Asians. There are some out there, if you look. In the Hindi region of the people here in America, I know there are actually some Indian people that just don't want to do shit. And most of the time, it is indeed white folks, because it's kind of like a societal thing. I get it. And then there is another issue that you keep on bringing up, that black folks here in the States need to start to try to immigrate to back to Africa. Well, guess what? You think that you think that straight up Africans would want for you to immigrate over there? I mean, yeah, when you go with the Ashanti festival to Ethiopia, when you go, you keep on saying that, oh, I don't see any racism going on over there. I don't see any mistreatment of us black folks from America over there. Well, guess what? There have been a few, and like maybe 4, maybe 5 videos that I have seen of actual African reporters from different various African countries go to the streets of their major cities and ask actual Africans, actual countrymen, how would you feel if black Americans tried to immigrate back to this continent? And guess what most of the people said as their main answer? Oh, we do not want them because, according to us, with the way that we live, with the way that we have our work ethic, that the black American are the laziest, most leechy people on the face of the earth. That if we cannot barely function as a country, if we can barely handle our own people with financial assistance and whatnot, then how the hell are we going to deal with black Americans when they are 10 times as lazy as we have been claimed to be? They don't want you. You think that white Americans don't want your ass? Watch those videos. They don't even want you. They would send you guys back in a heartbeat, because they would feel that the black American whether it be male, female, or child, they believe that the Black American are the laziest people on the planet. And because of your apparent laziness, according to their eyes, you are not wanted, because they would only want people who will contribute, who will do the 18 to 19-hour work days. Unless you guys are willing to have the farming work ethic of back in the slave days, then they don't want your ass. And if you guys think that you guys could survive there, oh my god, then you guys are just ignorant, precious little snowflakes. Because if you think it's bad over here, it is a million times worse over there when it comes to the violence, when it comes to the guns. And no, I'm not talking about from white folks, no. I'm talking about try to go over to Rwanda and see if you might survive there about maybe 5 days, because not only will your ass be kidnapped, but your children will be used as human bombs for some missions. Your children will be raised to be guerrilla soldiers. Try to go over to the Congo, same shit. And if you think that the women would be treated with respect over there, wrong again. The women will be treated and abused and be forced to work in the slave trade, especially the sex slave trade. And seriously, if you think it's bad over here with the crimes against black folks, do your fucking research before you even start spouting out some shit. You claim to be educated. I'm also here to try to educate you. What you're doing might be considered dangerous. And I'm only saying that because I want to help you. If you really want to change how the black person is being viewed here in America, my advice to you is go change the fucking laws. You keep on spying out shit about, you worship Malcolm X and you worship Martin Luther King. Well, do you know what they did that is different from what you're doing? They gave their lives for their cause. They went over to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. to try to change shit. They put their money and their faith and their cause where their heart and mouth are. If you want to be so much like them, copy them. Put your ass on the line. If you want to prove that you're just as big of a political badass as those two revolutionaries, then go do what they did. But if you don't, guess what? You're just being viewed as a man who likes to bitch and moan on the internet and don't do shit. That would make you a hypocrite. That's all I gotta say about that. Now I know that this is mostly considered to be more of a political rant and therefore might not be totally 100% of what this channel is about, but there are different points in time that I want to throw out to my subscribers that are considered part of a more serious tone instead of just talking about geeky shit. This was one of those times. It may be sporadic that I would get this kind of serious about things, but if I don't use this platform to offer some of my views, then I'm just as as basic and as petty as PewDiePie or Logan Paul. Just trying to do shit to get views. Just trying to do shit to get subscribers. No. The geekiness is to get you in. The geekiness is to open the door and offer some intelligent conversations. My personal vlogs and my rants, those are the real shit that I try to come up from time to time to get you to really think. To get you to get everybody to really stand up and pay attention. Come for the geekiness. Stay for the intellectual thought. And like I keep on saying, I'm going to keep on trying to try my best to upload as many videos as I can to try to catch up. But till then, I just wanted to get this out there because I believe that in some cases, dude, you're starting to play a dangerous game, and I'm hoping to point that out to you, and I hope you receive this well. And as much as you might want to claim that I am just a silly white girl, don't know jack shit, like I said, I'm Jewish. My people have been through far worse. And if you guys, and if you, dude, keep on thinking that me being a Jew means that my people didn't go through shit, well, guess what? Most of the Jews that were mentioned in the Bible were black. Hell, even Jesus was black. Yes, I said it. Jesus was a brother. A fine brother, too. Because it said in the Bible, description of Jesus, skin of burnished bronze. Well, what color is burnished bronze except for a chocolate brown? And hair like sheep's wool. Do you see any sheep out and about looking like stringy hair Marilyn Manson? Hell no. Sheep's wool is a fro. Jesus had chocolate brown skin and a afro. So Jesus was a brother. And if Jesus was the son of God, therefore God is a brother too. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if God ended up looking like Morgan Freeman. Because that would explain a lot of his practical jokes. And, wow. And on top of that, dude, how about this? To even prove that I'm not as biased as you may think that I am, guess what? Here's a little bit of a clue for you too. I have been happily married for 13 years in a totally non-abusive relationship, which is going to be for a whole different story. But I've been happily married in a non-abusive relationship with a handsome black man. A black man that happens to look exactly like Jason Momoa, but a brother. And we have ourselves a beautiful 12-year-old little girl. Now, in our family, we don't emphasize race. We may emphasize sports teams because we live up here in Oregon, and she doesn't keep on saying to other people, hey, I'm half black or I'm half white. Some people may, take it to that petty level, and when she hears that, She says, I'm not half black, I'm not half white. I am a platypus because my dad is a duck, my mom's a beaver. Because here in Oregon, the only major sports teams when it comes to football is the U of O Ducks and the OSU Beavers. We emphasize geeky relations to our little girl. She may ask from time to time why there are people of different colors than her. And I just told her a very, very smart way to deal with racism. To truly make her colorblind. And that is, God made us all different colors, like God made the different colors in the crayon box. If God wanted the whole world to be a single color, then it would look all boring. But no, God uses different colors to create a rainbow. He uses different colors to create a beautiful flower bouquet. You can't have a beautiful flower bouquet if they're all the same color. How do you think the Oregon landscape looks beautiful if it's all the same color? No. God uses all the crayons in his box to create a beautiful picture, a beautiful portrait. And God uses every single one of us as his extra crayons. And if we work together, we all create a beautiful picture. That is what I tell my daughter every day. And she does come home from school from time to time and complain about how she's being mistreated because of the tanness of her skin that is totally darker than mine. And she starts to look like her dad, especially during summertime. She sometimes comes home and cries that the people call her the N-word. And I try to tell her that those people are just idiots. That there is no use trying to explain yourself to them. Just know deep down in your heart that your mom loves you, your dad loves you, God loves you, Jesus loves you, and that all of her extended family loves her. So why would she be listening to one hateful person when she has the whole world loving her? The more people that you have that truly love you in your life should be a bullhorn louder than one hater. And I've dealt with many haters. My mom, my so-called stepdad, my so-called brother and sister, all the people that, except for the people that really loved me from my side of the family, the people who really loved me, they all went and gone, leaving behind all the assholes. I even get a lot of hatred from my mother-in-law. Big surprise. But I use a lot of strength from public figures like my great-grandmother, what she did. to make at least my life as a female a little bit better. People like Della Reese and Roman Downey from Touched by an Angel. Because that TV show was the shiznit when it comes to knowing how to live by grace. Even in the face of abject terror. And ultimately, when you absolutely have to take a stand, do it right. Like my good old girlfriend, and I know that she's played by a dude, I don't give a fuck. My good old girlfriend, Miss Medea. M to the goddamn DEA. I love that bitch. I mean, she even taught me how to stand up against my abusive husband or ex-husband. She taught me how to play grip ball. Kind of nice. So, anyway, I'm gonna let it go at that. And I'm going to stop before my vocal cords get totally shot. I'm still kind of recovering from Comic-Con. I've had such a good time that my vocals sometimes are prone to get laryngitis. So I'm going to stop for now. But as always, to all the fellow crazy jacks, peace, love, and nerd out.